And welcome everyone back to the channel, to the Yo Bro Nation YouTube channel. Of course, I am Zach. How are you all doing this evening? Alright, so here we are. Episode 16 of Supernatural Season 15. Drag Me Away From You. And oh my goodness. This episode, look, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not excited to the fact that it was a filler episode. If I'm just being honest, I don't like the fact that it was a filler episode. Just me, just being fair, just giving my opinion. I think at this point in the season, filler episodes should not even be a thing at this point. They honestly shouldn't even be a thing at this point. But here we are. We're doing it. We're doing filler episodes. 4 more to go, by the way. 4 more to go. I think next week looks like it's going to be an actual, mythology episode. So, it is what it is. But this is just one of those episodes that's here. It's a serviceable episode. I won't say it's a bad episode, and I enjoyed it. We get to see another young version of Sam and Dean. Actually, throughout quite a bit of the episode, a lot more than we usually get. Sorry, that wasn't meant to be anything. But I don't know. This is the third episode of the season that we've gotten, and we have yet to actually get into an episode that's really all about what's going on. And I'm starting to find it to be a little frustrating. 7 episodes to go. We come back, after Jack's big reveal, I got my soul back, and it's, we got a lady in here making food for us. Okay, hey, maybe the next episode's going to be a big one. And no, it wasn't. We had the whole Amara storyline, but the episode was still based around just a case that Cass and Jack went on. We got a little bit with Amara. Oh, cool, there's Amara. But when are we going to get to the episodes that are actually about what we want to talk about? I don't need, I swear to God, 4 episodes to go, if we have another filler episode, I'm probably going to give this season just a down. I'm going to give this season a whole fucking down, because you set up a 20 episode season and you couldn't plan this out when they knew a year in advance of this season that they were going to do this. And sure, the pandemic has caused issues. That's fine. I understand the delay, but you could have even went back and rewrote these episodes. This is the 3rd episode, right? This was an episode that was wrote and filmed after the fact. After the fact. So, what you're telling me is you couldn't come up with anything better than this. We have to have Sam and Dean go on the road to deal with a friend that we've never heard of because he died. They're going to the funeral. Sure, okay. Look, again, I don't think the episode's bad. Spoilers, by the way. Spoilers. I don't think the episode was bad. I just don't like the fact that we had to have another premise. A filler episode. Another filler episode. You know how many filler episodes we've had this season? How many episodes it took for us to get going before we even actually started dealing with the God situation? This season, I came into this season just hoping it'd be great. Hoping we would just really focus in on the whole deal with God. And we haven't really a lot. It's, God's doing something. Well, God's been off world. The only thing we really got in this episode was Billy coming in and telling us that God is now done destroying the rest of the worlds. He's done. So he's coming back now. We're finally going to get him back on Earth. And I'm just starting to really, really get agitated with it. Now, I would assume that they decided that, okay, these last 4 episodes, we're going to really focus in. But now I'm not so sure. And I'll explain why here in a little bit. But let me go ahead. Let me actually talk about the episode so I'm not complaining. Because I know a lot of people really like this show and probably don't want to hear me complain about it. But goddamn it, I can't help myself. I'm sorry. I refuse to use that word now. Chuck damn it. That's just my new thing. Chuck damn it. So yeah, season 15, episode 16, Drag Me Away From You. Look, it wasn't a bad episode, and they had a few nods to different things throughout this episode. Room 214, trying to do the whole spin on Room 219, 217 from The Shining. That was nice. There's a part where Dean enters a room, and he ends up in a boiler room. So a nice little nod to Nightmare on Elm Street. At least that's what I picked up. Who knows? May have been an idiot. But basically, the whole episode is Sam and Dean have a friend. I'll loosely use that word, friend, and they're going to this funeral because reasons. They knew them when they were young. And it's funny because even Sam's like, we've skipped things like this before for people that we knew better, hunters that we've known, but we're going to this. And Dean's like, well, it's different. Well, how's it different? And it takes almost half of the episode to tell us, why is this different? But they're in this hotel. I didn't write down the hotel name, but their friend Travis killed himself in this room. Now, we saw this guy see a young kid in the room with him, and basically we assumed killed him. And he had this chick named Caitlin messaging him. We found out that Caitlin is his sister, and we found out that this boy, due to flashbacks, we do a bunch of flashbacks, 1993, January of 93, actually. And we see a lot of flashbacks of Caitlin and Travis and Sam and Dean. So we see the boy that was in the room with Travis was Travis. So then you're like, oh, well, what is this? Not one time did I ever think this was a shapeshifter. Not one time. So let me get that out of the way. But they come in and they meet up with her and they're talking to her and, they're like, look, if there's anything we can do for you to help with the funeral. She's like, no, it's not the funeral. It's this. Turns out she lied to them because she thinks that whatever it was that they saw that many years ago, 25 years ago, I believe it was, she's like, it has to be that. And Dean's very hesitant. We find out why as the episode goes on, but we find out that, Dean helped kill this thing or tried to kill this thing when they were kids. And look, this is going to be a much more loose review. I'm not going to go for this thing like beat by beat. Like, I got notes from every scene, but I'm not going to go beat by beat with it this time. But when we get to the flashback, it's 1993. They're dropped off at the hotel, and Sam's already thinking about college. So we get a call back to Sam wanting to go to college and how Dean was against it, which we've already established, and how it relates to the rest of this episode, I don't fucking know. But he says, he called him an idiot and stuff, but they're kids, so you can overlook it. He says, but this is our life, so basically no college dude, which he's not wrong. We see Dean meet Caitlin and her little brother Travis, and he shows them how to get candy out of the vending machine. So Dean and our current Sam and Dean meet Caitlin. They're sitting and she tells them about Travis and how hard life was for him after that and how he was going to therapy. And she tried this treatment that really is starting to pry at those events, and it really kind of amped things up. And Dean's like, look, maybe he did. Maybe he just killed himself. And we get a flashback to little Travis getting the candy out of the vending machine, and then something in the vending machine attacking him. So he wasn't lying. We go back to present day. Sam and Dean, they're just kind of doing their stuff, checking out the room. Nothing's popping up, and Dean's just like, look, I'm telling you, it's not what you think. He just killed himself, and that sucks, but we got to move on. Excuse me. So we get more flashbacks to Travis and them talking, and Sam and Dean, they tell the kid the truth, because Dean's like, look, I believe you. He says, we hunt monsters. And at first they're like, no. And he's like, no, really, we do. So then they go and see all these missing posters of all these different kids. And I liked that element. This did give me a very, with the missing kids posters and stuff like that, just the boiler room. It did give me a lot of like Nightmare on Elm Street vibes. So I can honestly say I actually kind of did appreciate that. So, so the current Caitlin notices, because Dean's different. She's like, no kids have been missing, but you used to believe him, like even before I would. And Dean's like, look, we were kids. There's no kids missing. And she's like, no, okay. So, again, we get another flashback, and they did this a lot, flashing in back and forth in between them. Them looking into the missing kids things, working the case, and Dean, tells Sam, where's this? And they locate like a central spot where everything's happening. And he says, all right, well, you stay here, you be normal, I'm going alone. Well, she follows him to this space. It was the Wadsworth Cannery or some crap like that. Wadsworth, I don't know. But they go to this cannery. They go in. We go back to Sam and Travis. They're playing at the hotel. They're playing Boggle. Who remembers that game? Boggle. I don't think I remember that game very well. I remember Scrabble. But if you've ever played Boggle, let me know. Dean and Caitlin, they're walking into the factory, and she kind of notices, Dean's a little nervous. Like, oh, you're sweating, and you seem scared. He's like, no, I'm not scared. He's a kid. He's like, fuck, no, I'm not. But he sees something. He finds the keys to the hotel, and he pulls a blanket back, and he sees something, but he doesn't say what it is. We go back to the hotel, and all the game is starting to pop up words like kill, Sam, kill, willing to kill, like weird shit. And it shakes and explodes. So the lady shows up. Dean and Caitlin, supernatural logic, show up just in the nick of time. She starts to attack them. Dean, tries to shoot her with the gun. She knocks out of hand. He uses his knife, cuts her fingers off. We see a ring hit the ground, and then she just kind of vanishes, which was weird. It was kind of weird. So we see our current day Dean walking down the hallway, and he sees his younger self, and the lights are flickering, and the younger self's like, say hi to Travis, and tells him he failed. He says he knows what he has to do, and Dean drops to his knees and is like going to stab himself, but Sam comes in the room, and Dean kind of snaps out of it. He's like, oh yeah, she's not wrong. This is really happening. And you're like, oh, well, all right then. So that happens. So, yeah, Sam and Dean, they discuss what to do. They try to figure out what it is. And this is where Dean admits that, hey, I found all the missing kids when we were in that place. And, yeah, they were kind of dead. And I didn't tell nobody. And now he feels really shitty because that's what Dean does. So Dean says, look, I'm just going to go get us some food and we'll figure out what the hell this thing is. So we're going to find the nest. So, Dean's getting some food. He's getting a couple burgers, one a veggie burger, and he's getting Sam a salad. And Billy shows up. This is like the only thing that really relates to the main plot of this show right now. And she's like, oh, so you're doing a case right now when, God's coming. I just left the world and God, left it, burnt it to almost nothing. And Dean's like, oh, that's cool. And he makes a Star Wars reference about the Death Star, which is kind of cool. Always big points when you get Star Wars reference. But she's kind of like, yeah, but that was the last one. So we flash over to Sam and Caitlin. They've pretty much figured out, oh, she's like, yo, Sam, do you want to be normal? But then they also found out that this thing is called a Baba Yaga. A Baba Yaga. And he's like, it's the ring that gives her power. So we got to find the ring. So we got to find the nest. And then Billy, says, Sam and Dean are on their own. Is there going to be an issue? Dean's like, no. She's like, Sam will get there. She's like, you haven't told Sam the truth. And then they talk about Jack and Jack blowing up. She says, well, I'm not in the rest of Chuck's story. So you guys are on your own after this. But she did say that she gave Jack the orders, the thing for him to complete his transformation. So Jack's about to go become all nuclear on Chuck at this point. So after we see Sam and her talking about the ring, we find Caitlin. She's going to look for the ring. She's in the back of her car. She can't find it. And then the Baba Yaga shows up looking like her brother, has the ring, and then attacks her. Dean comes back with some food. Sam says Caitlin's gone. He's trying to find her. Sam thinks that destroying the ring will kill the Baba Yaga. So yada, yada, yada. They go through the rest of the hotel to find things. Sam finds the hotel attendant, the clerk, smoking some stuff in the closet. That's kind of funny, actually. I actually did kind of appreciate that, if I'm just being honest. That was funny to me. But then Dean, of course, goes in, room 214 opens. He's like, oh, I've seen this movie before. And he goes in, the door shuts behind him. And then, like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, now Dean is inside the boiler room where he comes across the Baba Yaga version of Travis that attacks him. But then they're back in the hotel room. Caitlin's in there on the bed all of a sudden. Sam hears the noise. Sam comes in. Sam stabs Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga gets, ring taken off by Dean. Dean smashes ring with gun, and Baba Yaga's dead. That was it. Quick and easy. So that I felt that was kind of like a waste, the whole Baba Yaga thing. And I guess the lore they use for the Baba Yaga in this is nothing like a Baba Yaga. I love saying that. Baba Yaga do. Woohoo. I don't know. Don't ask me. All right. Just don't ask me. So we see Caitlin. She's thanking Dean and, asks if he was scared. He's like, I always am. She's like, see, you have changed. The older you get, you no longer need, have a reason to lie. And she hugs him, and we flash back to, Dean and her hugging as kids. And she says, thank you. Says, I hope I never have to call you again. And then, of course, Dad pulls up. John shows up in the car. We don't see his face, because of course not. They can't pay Jeffrey Dean Morgan enough to show up, and it would look weird if they used the other guy. So that's cool. And no, people are going to just obliterate me for not knowing his name off the top of my head. Well, suck it up. Anyways, Dean says, hey, about the whole college thing. Look, I just think we make a good team. A callback to season 1 where Dean's like, hey, I think we make a great team. Oh, cool. Another callback to something that we don't need a callback to. Cool. I don't know. It sounds like I'm hating on the episode, but I actually did enjoy it. But he does kind of sort of apologize. So they get in the car. We flash back to them. They're in the car. Sam's trying to call Cass. Dean's like, hey, just hang up. He tells Sam about what Billy said. And then he says that, when this happens, Jack's going to die. He's going to blow up, but Jack's okay with it. And Sam's like, wait, she told you all of that while we were doing, the research? It's like, no, actually, Cass told me that. And I just haven't told you. And of course, Sam's mad. He's like, I thought we were past this. Why would you hold, information like this away from me? He's like, because you couldn't handle it. He's like, he told Sam he couldn't handle it. So they argue about it. And Sam's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Just sit back and say nothing? And he's like, yes, you are. Because this is how we do this. This is how we stop Chuck. And Dean tries to apologize. Sam's like, just drive. So yeah, the boys are mad at each other again. Nothing new there. But again, look, I thought the episode was fine. But we're retreading things. Like, and this is something I've talked about with others, Bree and Andrew, for instance. I hope you guys are watching this. But talking to them, at this point, don't you think the boys would be past hiding things from each other? Yet here we are in the same situation. Dean thinks what he has to do is best for them. And that's just where we are. Always treating Sam like the little brother, even though Sam is probably the smarter of the two and makes better decisions than the two of them. Even though he did unleash Lucifer. That's fine. But just the fact that we're back at this point is a little frustrating to me, if I'm just being real. Again, episode wasn't bad. I just think just certain elements of the show, it's like, really, can we just get on with what we're here for? Can we just get to the Chuck storyline? That's all people wanted to see over the course of last summer. And then having to wait all summer to get those last 7 episodes. And 3 of these episodes have all been filler. Like, come on, man. Can I just get it? And I feel like this next episode, okay, the preview for the next episode, I said I'd talk about this when I got to it. The next episode looks like it's going to be one of those funny episodes. Another filler. Because they're encountering Adam, the first man. It looks like it's going to be another filler episode. Oh my God, come on. 3 episodes after that. What, are we going to wait till the last 2 episodes to actually get into the Chuck story again? I don't need a monster hunt. I don't need to meet Adam unless he's going to be integral to this whole fucking story. I don't need Adam. Yes, it looks like Amara's going to be in the episode, but you got Adam being a player. What? Really? What are they going to do? Drop in Jesus in the last episode? I'm nervous now. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say this now. I'm nervous about the last episode. The last 2 episodes. The way that Andrew Dad described it is, see, episode 19 is going to basically be a season finale. Episode 20 will be the series finale. Like, what are we going to do? Kill Chuck in one episode and do something in the next? No, I don't need that. Stop trying to make things complicated. I know I sound like an idiot. I know I sound like a whiny person right now, but that's just how I feel. We don't need to do all this extra BS. We really, really don't. But I feel like they're just going out of their way. I feel like they're just going out of their way to do this. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I will say the kids who played Young, Sam, and Dean, the one who played Dean did actually quite well. Actually, I really enjoyed him. The one who was Sam didn't really do a lot, but they were good. They were serviceable. Episode was fine. It's just a filler episode, and I'm tired of them. We're in the last season with the last few episodes, and we're still doing filler episodes. Come on, Andrew Dab. Seriously, you're supposed to make this season go out with a bang, and it's like whimpering its way to the finish line. Come on, man. That's it, but I'm done. I'm done with my little rant. I basically ranted most of this episode, so. Well, I'm Zach. Hope you all enjoyed this. Stay safe. I'll be back with next week's episode. I believe they said next week. I believe the preview said next week. So if it indeed was, I'll see y'all next week. But yes, next week it'll still be on the normal day. So no change in the date. My Supernatural review will be on Friday. So yeah, I want to thank all you guys for joining me. Stay safe, stay healthy, and guys, hey, just remember, join the nation. Y'all take care. I'll talk to you later.